completely shatter so many major rules and facts, not just what has been established in the games, but things that have been established in their own comic. In no instance ever has Eggman ever considered his creations his children. How? How does that work? Any form of spin dash Sonic does should fling this virus off of him faster than taking an 80-mile run. If Sonic is this infected, then he should be gone.
To the Eggman Empire. Authorization approved. Access granted.
What's happening, hoes and bros? My name is KotyTang. You already know what it is. Let's read some Sonic comics. Issue 25. The remaining members of the Restoration arrive in Angel Island, with Sonic almost completely taken over by the Metal Virus, startling Knuckles. Sonic darts off to allow Amy and Tails to fill Knuckles in on what's been happening in the world. Meanwhile, upon the face ship, the Zeti arrive, revealing to Eggman that Starline has brought in a less than preferred band of help. Eggman stupidly sends Metal Sonic to attack the Zeti, allowing them to control the robot. Starline attempts to use the cacophonic conch to control the Zeti, however, the Zeti miraculously overcome the pain and remove the conch from Starline, forcing Eggman and Starline to flee thanks to the Warp Topaz, with Metal Sonic jumping in after them. The Zeti steal the Chaos Emeralds and use them to power themselves up, gaining a far-reaching control of the various Zombot hordes. Orbot and Cubot, with the secret assistance of Rouge, convince the Zeti that they're willingly defecting from Eggman. Back on Angel Island, Starline, Metal Sonic, and Eggman all appear before the heroes, immediately joining forces after revealing that the Zeti are now involved. Rouge is able to contact the Restoration and inform them on what the Zeti have been up to so far. Eventually, Tails demands that Eggman shows them a cure, to which Eggman begins to explain why one isn't needed, revealing that eventually the virus will become unstable and the Zombots will start disintegrating in roughly 200 years. If you know anything about 200-year gaps in Sonic stories, coincidentally, Silver arrives and confirms that is the truth. Silver reveals that his escape shuttle went down along with the entire crew to the Zombots. Outside of whatever building they're inside on Angel Island, Whisper plots to obliterate Eggman's head. But don't worry, Cream begs her to spare Eggman so that they can find a cure to the virus, to bring her mother and friends back, to which Whisper gives an ugly cry and begrudgingly accepts. After several ideas are thrown around about how to handle the Zeti, Eggman suggests the true plan, which is to utilize Supersonic and use the Warp Topaz's abilities to remove the virus from the planet and, I guess, warp the virus itself elsewhere. Huh. What? Why would that make any sense?
We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else!
Starline refuses to allow Eggman to use his Topaz and creates a rift to flee, which Eggman promptly fires him, steals the Topaz, and Metal Sonic hurls Starline into his own rift. The heroes come up with a plan to separate into groups and attack the Zeti all at once in each of their chosen areas across the region, thus successfully stealing the Chaos Emeralds, bringing them back, and allowing Sonic to turn into Supersonic and rid the world of the virus. In order to complete the teams for this plan, Amy calls in none other than the Babylon Rogues. Okay. The amount of lore inconsistencies delivered in this one issue is genuinely astounding. It's an astronomical feat for any writer to completely shatter so many major rules and facts that have been set up in a world with a single issue. Not just what has been established in the games, but things that have been established in their own comic. So prepare yourself for this breakdown. If Sonic is this infected, then he should be gone. I don't know whose idea it was to go through with drawing this, because at the least, nearly all of Sonic's brain should be infected if he looked like this. During this issue, Sonic says that he didn't want to land on the grass just in case. as he literally lands on the grass. They even detail every blade that he flattens out. In the next shot, he's on concrete wrapped around the Master Emerald. Just thought that massive oversight was pretty funny to point out. Angel Island should probably be infected by now. In fact, with how much Sonic has been road running all over the place, the majority of the Earth should be more than halfway infected by now. There's an instance of Ian Flynn's Eggman directly treating Metal Sonic like Eggman's son. I've been through this on my Frontiers video when it came to Sage, so I'll just reiterate. In no instance ever in the entire run of Sonic the Hedgehog's main series has Eggman ever considered his creations his children. Each and every single thing Eggman has created has been seen as a tool. If one of his creations can't do their job, he's likely to completely dismantle it and try again, if not outright throw it away, or he'll give it a highly specific job and completely ignore the fact that it still exists. Unfortunately, we have Orbot and Cubot, which goes against that Eggman philosophy in one of the dumbest ways possible, as he finds them both insufferable, making them the only two failed creations that Eggman just lets exist and advise him with no consequence. But even with that, it's only when Ian Flynn stepped up to the plate that this personality trait for Eggman was created, which successfully has bled into the official canon of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's an official, canonized, complete character break. Eggman does not care about any of his creations and has never cared about them. The most he'll do for them is praise them for successfully following an order. How about some Sonic Lost World canon? The cacophonic conch is supposed to be so powerful against the Zeddy that once the conch's tune ends, it brings them to their knees from the immense pain and blocks them from using their powers. This is how Eggman constrained them in Sonic Lost World. So, you tell me, does Zaz just act like the conch is a minor inconvenience? Or does the conch seem to have the same properties that it does in Lost World? If you ask me, Zaz should not have any strength to respond, much less successfully headbutt Starline. And then for Xena to just pop out of nowhere, full sprint, as though the conch didn't even affect her. Come on, IDW. Starline even blows on the conch until he's out of breath. So the Zeddy couldn't have only endured it for just a couple of seconds. I think it's pretty clear the conch was nerfed immensely just for this poorly thought out plot development to unfold. So, on Angel Island, Knuckles has a restoration resistance base. Okay, if Knuckles has a way to contact the restoration from Angel Island, how the hell does he have no idea what's going on? He can do comms with anybody, he has maps, he has every base, he has all of the intel that the restoration would have, yet he's completely in the dark. I mean, Rouge is able to contact everybody from Angel Island, so it's not like the restoration is running off a different system than the resistance was. Has he just been purposely ignoring their calls? Is IDW trying to say that nobody even bothers to think about Knuckles? You know, the third member of Sonic's original three-man crew, one of the first people to arrive on the scene during most major events? I don't know, just something to think about. Let's move on to Sonic. Sonic is shown to be running in place to maintain the virus. If you recall, in issue 18, Sonic states that he can't run in place or do donuts because it won't be fast enough. I think this picture is pretty self-explanatory. I said even in that issue that there's no reason for the treadmill to work if this is true. Yet, here Sonic is, once again, using a treadmill as a way to stave off the virus. Let's not forget that according to Gemerald, Sonic has passed the threshold of the virus and his running should barely even be sustaining it. Yet, here he is, almost entirely removed of the virus once again. Here's something that I'm going to repeat that I brought up in issue 19. Any form of spin dash Sonic does should fling this virus off of him faster than taking an 80-mile run. He shouldn't even need to launch himself to be removed of the virus, just spin dash in place. As I'm always going to say, the speed aspect is such a brain-dead remedy to the virus. Everything Sonic does requires a huge amount of speed. How about we talk about how the Master Emerald works? Knuckles says they can't risk moving the Master Emerald as the island would be at risk of getting infected, and the Deadly Six could possibly be lured to the island. Everything about that is simply not true and is not co-signed by anything that's ever happened in Sonic. The Master Emerald's ability to disrupt the Chaos Emeralds is one of its natural abilities. It doesn't sacrifice power by doing this, nor has it ever been shown to sacrifice any sort of power in any of its uses ever. We've never seen the full distance of how far the Master Emerald can reach the Chaos Emeralds at this point in the continuity. Now sure, the times that the Master Emerald was used, the Chaos Emeralds happened to also be nearby. However, it was purely for story-based reasons that the Master Emerald was so close in every instance that it happened. With additional context from Frontiers, in the reaches of space, the Chaos Emeralds were called directly to Earth. So who's to say that the Master Emeralds can't neutralize the Chaos Emeralds from anywhere on the planet and close to its atmosphere even? Let me say again. At this point in the story, directly after Sonic Forces, none of the characters have even tested if this works. So now you've brought up an interesting dilemma for the actual story. If it is the case that this does work, then every single one of Eggman's plans, and almost any villain's plans for that matter, could have always been stopped the very moment they began. The video games could have potentially created the same problem as IDW has by allowing the Master Emerald to grant characters a super form. If the Master Emerald can neutralize emeralds from anywhere on the planet, why aren't they already doing it? The heroes should probably try this out. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work. Now let's move on to how Chaos powers work. When Espio suggests Chaos Control to do something, Silver states that Chaos Control only moves a target over a limited range and that it can't change things. Now this is true to a point. However, the range of Chaos Control is entirely based upon the user who wields the emerald. Its limit spans literal dimensions as well as space and time. The unlimited power is in every description of the Chaos Emeralds. Any talk of a limitation is immediately not true. Regardless, Chaos Control is a power that would do nothing for Earth, unless they planned on teleporting every single Zombot to a different planet and leaving their ass there. Really excited to hear how IDW is going to explain how the Zombot virus was ripped out of people's cellular structure and chaos controlled away by Supersonic. Speaking of Supersonic, why don't we go into that too? Sonic says that the Chaos Emeralds give him unlimited power as Supersonic, but he can't just do anything with it, which is true. As much as Movie Sonic likes to say that he can, Sonic can't just summon a chili dog out of nowhere for no reason. If the plan is to defeat the Deadly Six, then turning into Supersonic would literally work. I don't know what the fuck Sonic is talking about. Supersonic is an instant win in 99% of any situation. He just beats the villain into submission, and then that's it. But what is true is that the Zeti are scattered with the emeralds, so the heroes would have to collect them all first regardless. And they could do this by neutralizing them with the Master Emerald, and of course sending several teams to collect the emeralds, bring them back to Sonic, and turn him Supersonic. I don't know why IDW is acting like this is such a complex concept. That's even the plan that they literally go with, aside from using the Master Emerald to neutralize the Chaos Emerald's power. Oh yeah, and what's up with Silver somehow managing to find the remaining members of the Restoration on Angel Island? He didn't contact anybody before heading over, he just magically finds them, just like Metal Sonic magically found Eggman. Also, this that I just couldn't stop thinking about while reading this thing. Be sure to subscribe subscribe if you've been enjoying the video so far. Leave a comment below about what you think about the IDW series. Be sure to share this video to the ether, and I look forward to responding to everything you guys have to say to me. Now back to the video. I know I already said this 3 times now, but I really want an answer on this. When discussing how the team is going to deal with the Zeddy, Eggman suggests using the Warp Topaz to just warp the virus away as Supersonic. How? How does that work? No, here's a really good one about Eggman. Why does Eggman want to completely destroy the planet with the Zombot virus? No, genuinely. Let's really think about this for a moment. Has Eggman suddenly just given up creating Eggman Land and would rather be alone in the universe with literally nobody? What's Eggman's motivation in this arc? If that's all he wants, then he can just go into space. Just leave Earth. Create your own robot civilization. They're not gonna be able to defeat the Zeddy without you. Just leave. And no, that's not it. I got one last thing for you. Yeah, I know. It's a lot for just one issue, isn't it? Amy makes a call to the Babylon Rogues during one of the highest points of the Metal Virus. Would anybody like to take any guesses on exactly how Amy manages to get into contact with the Babylon Rogues? The Rogues somehow agreed to be on call, despite Jet saying that they don't even want to help anybody. They even proceed to debate on if they should help after accepting the call. Come take a second with me and we'll think about this. So, did Amy convince the Babylon Rogues to be on call the very moment she became the leader of the Restoration? While attempting to restore the damaged cities and villages of Earth? Did she have the Rogues agree to be on call while Knuckles was the leader of the Resistance? Any guesses at all, guys? Feel free to take a crack at it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this episode a bit short. That issue was a doozy. Expect the next issues to come out soon, and then we can finally get to the final 4 issues of the Metal Virus Saga. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment below of what you think, follow me on Twitter, okay, bye!